Welcome back to Pipes Etc. Glad you could stop by. Today I am submitting this VR to Michel Baruch for his Chi-Squared giveaway. And he has asked us to comment on our choice of the best charitable organizations that helps mankind. I'm also assuming he means ones we're involved with. Well, as an adult, my work with charitable organizations started when I was freshly out of college and started to work for Johnson & Johnson. Giving back was and is a big focus at J&J. So I volunteered to work at a local food bank. I found it was a very rewarding experience and it's now become an important part of my life. A number of years later, I left the Dallas area and moved to a more rural area northwest of Dallas. While living there, I became more involved in animal rescues. There just wasn't a local food bank. But unfortunately, I found there is a great need for more humane treatment of animals. And having dogs and horses, it was a logical step for me. That was over 20 years ago, and I'm still involved in helping animal rescues with fundraising, supply donations, and we foster dogs with medical needs until we can get them healthy enough to be adopted to their forever homes. Before I entered college, I was in the Navy. So I understand the challenges presented to anyone entering the service, especially if you have a family. So it was a good fit for me to become involved in the Navy League of the United States. The focus is on helping the general public understand the need for the United States to have a strong sea services, the Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine. And that's in order to provide the necessary defense of our nation and to ensure open sea lanes for commerce. We also help out the local Naval Air Station, the personnel there. We help them feel more at home. The Navy League also fully realizes the future of the United States will be in the hands of our children, so we have a youth program, the Sea Cadets. Here, kids from 11 to 17 attend monthly meetings to learn more about life in the maritime services and our nation's history, leadership, discipline, and how to succeed in life. Many of our graduates go on to the military academies or other top-rated universities, and many with scholarships. I've been associated with the Navy League for close to 15 years. I was twice president of our local council, and I'm currently an officer and on the board of directors. So I really understand the needs of the sea service and have for a long time. I find the work I do there quite rewarding. But it doesn't top the list of what has made the most eye-opening impact in my life. The one cause that tops my list caught me by surprise. It's one that deals with pediatric cancer. You see, about 12 years ago, my brother-in-law called to inform my wife and I that his 8-year-old daughter had just been diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Needless to say, but I was stunned. The entire family was as well. The survivability of this form of cancer was less than 1%, and it only affected children. There were no known treatments for it anywhere in the world. Over the following months, we watched her deteriorate. It was simply heartbreaking. Then, her oncologist informed us that through professional connections, she found a research program at a hospital that had been investigating this disease. We also found out they were considering candidates as subjects for this research. So with nothing to lose, contact was made to the research group. Much effort was given to get her into this program, but there were so many obstacles. Time kept passing by. My niece continued to deteriorate, and it was finally decided that she would take her Make-A-Wish trip while she was still well enough to do so. It was one of the hardest things I've ever been asked to do, was to join them. But my wife and I did. Even with all the rock star treatment we were given, it was such a joyless event for me. Truly a low point in my life. Not long after we returned from this trip, we were informed that she had been accepted into the research program. So off she went to California. Her mother went with her, and they were prepared to stay the entire 5 months she was expected to be away under treatment. It was a very challenging ordeal for my niece. They did as much as they could for her there, and then she came home. They tried to continue whatever they could from here. They did their best. It was almost 13 years ago. Today, my niece is a junior at Baylor University. Yes, the experimental treatment worked. She has now been cancer-free for over 12 years. Not long after her eventual recovery began, the family decided to start a charity to help our local hospital get this new treatment. So we started Ellie's Hope, because her hope is that no other child or the family of that child should ever have to go through what she experienced. Today, there are still only 5 hospitals that have this program. One of them is our local children's hospital. No, it wasn't due to our charity. No, not by a long shot. There were many, many people involved. Because that's what it takes. Community involvement. We were simply part of the effort. We were a loud and unrelenting voice that gained the attention of those with even bigger voices. Nevertheless, the effort is not finished. Families still must travel to get their child into treatment, sometimes traveling across the entire country, when and if a spot opens up. These children and their families must go to these locations and stay for that extended time, just like my niece and her mother did. It can get very expensive. So the hope has been that our efforts would help others to become aware of this treatment and to help them establish programs at their local hospitals, thus eliminating the need for them to be away from home during treatment. One less thing to worry about. Thankfully, having had enough experience with this program, our children's hospital now deals entirely with reaching out to the other hospitals to assist them with this process. We feel we've made an impact, but the work isn't finished. So for now, instead of raising money to help promote awareness for this treatment, the money goes to underwrite the expenses families incur while being away from home, so they too can stay with their child. Who wouldn't? We help with costs like hotels, transportation, meals, because we know in 4 or 5 or sometimes 6 months, these expenses pile up rapidly. It becomes especially important when family members must make the sacrifice to take time off from work in order to be with their child. It all started out as a conversation in a living room, and now we have an annual gala that sells out. Our auction items and cash donations increase amazingly year after year. If you don't quite understand how helpless one can feel when in this situation, go visit the oncology department at your local children's hospital. And afterwards, if you walk away feeling there's nothing you can contribute to overcome this impossible situation, send me an email and I'll help you understand that impossible can be beat. Thank you, Michelle, for this opportunity to discuss something that is near and dear to my heart. And congratulations on hitting such a big milestone so rapidly. You certainly deserve it, my friend. Well, that's all for this Pipes Etc. VR. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you will again. And until then, sei gesund.